Deep within a vast, vibrant jungle, teeming with life and echoing with the sounds of nature, lived a gentle giant named Eli. Eli the elephant was known for his immense strength and his even bigger heart. But tucked away, deep inside that kind heart, was a secret wish, a quiet dream. More than anything, Eli wished he could soar through the sky, just like the graceful birds he watched every single day. Every morning, without fail, Eli would gaze upwards as the sun painted the horizon. He'd watch in awe as flocks of brilliant parrots and toucans with their rainbow-colored beaks tucked to the air, dancing and dipping between the fluffy white clouds. A longing would fill him, and he'd stretch out his enormous ears, imagining them as wings. He'd lift his long trunk high, take a hopeful leap, and try with all his might to fly. But thump! He'd always land right back on the soft jungle floor, the ground gently shaking from his weight. A little sigh would escape him, but the dream in his heart never faded. Eli was a believer, and he held on to the hope that one day, somehow, he would touch the sky. One bright and sunny afternoon, while Eli was practicing his hopeful little hops, a flash of color caught his eye. It was Tina the toucan, gliding effortlessly on the warm air currents, her movements as smooth as a painter's brushstroke. Gathering his courage, Eli called out, "Tina, you fly so beautifully. Could you possibly teach me how to fly?" Tina landed gracefully on a nearby branch, her intelligent eyes twinkling. She smiled a warm, kind smile and said, "Oh, dear Eli, flying isn't something you do with your ears. It takes wings. But don't be discouraged. Perhaps there's a different way for you to soar. Maybe you can learn to fly in your very own special way." Tina's words lingered in Eli's mind, planting a seed of a new idea. "Fly in my own way?" he mumbled to himself, a thoughtful look on his face. He wandered through the jungle, pondering what that could possibly mean. How could an elephant soar without wings? As he mulled it over, a familiar chattering sound came from above. Swinging down from a towering kapok tree, branch by branch, was his mischievous and clever friend, Momo the monkey. "Why the long face, big guy?" Momo chattered, landing with a playful bounce. Eli shared his dream and his conversation with Tina. Momo's eyes lit up with a spark of creative chaos. "I've got it!" he exclaimed. "If you don't have wings, we'll just have to build you some." The two friends immediately set to work, their excitement bubbling over. They became a whirlwind of activity, gathering the biggest, sturdiest leaves they could find, long, strong vines that hung from the trees like ropes, and an assortment of lightweight sticks. Momo, with his nimble fingers, expertly wove and tied everything together, creating a magnificent, if slightly wobbly, pair of enormous green wings. With great care, they fastened the contraption to Eli's broad back. "Okay, Eli," Momo cheered from a safe distance. "Now, run! Run as fast as you can and catch the wind." Eli took a deep breath, his heart thumping with a mix of excitement and nervousness. He charged forward, faster and faster, feeling the jungle wind rush past his ears. For a moment, a thrilling moment, he felt a lightness, a lift, but then, snap, crackle, pop, the homemade wings disintegrated, and a shower of leaves fluttered down around him like a burst of green confetti. Eli stumbled to a halt, a leafy crown perched crookedly on his head. He looked at the scattered remains of his wings, then at Momo, whose face was a mixture of shock and amusement. A low rumble started in Eli's belly, growing and growing until it erupted into a deep, hearty laugh that shook the very trees around them. Momo, seeing his friend's good humor, joined in, his high-pitched giggles echoing through the clearing. They hadn't achieved flight, not in the way they intended, but in that moment of shared, joyful failure, they had certainly lifted the spirits of the jungle. Even though he didn't fly, Eli had made the whole world around him smile. As the day began to fade, a sense of quiet settled over the jungle. Eli found his favorite spot by the river, watching the water flow peacefully by. The setting sun was a masterpiece, painting the sky in breathtaking shades of fiery orange, soft pink, and shimmering gold. The world was so beautiful, yet a small pang of sadness returned to Eli's heart. He sighed, a soft, wistful sound that barely disturbed the air. "Maybe I'll never fly like the birds," he whispered to his reflection in the water. "Maybe my dream is just to beg for an elephant." Just then, a gentle breeze whispered through the leaves, carrying with it the subtle sounds of the jungle. But it wasn't just the rustling of leaves or the gurgle of the river. It felt different. It was as if his friends' voices were woven into the wind itself. He heard the echo of Momo's laughter, the memory of Tina's kind words, and the steady, calming flow of the river. Together, they seemed to form a single, soft message, a chorus just for him. "You may not have wings, Eli," the jungle whispered, "but you lift our hearts every single day." Eli looked down into the river again, but this time, he saw more than just his reflection. He saw his strengths, his size, and the kindness in his eyes. A slow smile spread across his face, a smile of true understanding. "Maybe I was never meant to fly in the sky," he said, his voice filled with a newfound sense of purpose. "Maybe I was meant to help others rise." In that moment, Eli understood what Tina had meant. He had found his own way to soar. From that day forward, everything changed. Eli embraced his true calling. He didn't look to the sky with longing anymore. He looked around him, seeking ways to help. He used his incredible strengths to become a force for good. He would carefully position his trunk to create a bridge for tiny turtles to safely cross the gushing stream. When a baby bird fell from its nest, its wings still too weak, Eli would gently lift it back to its mother's side. He even gave Momo a boost, lifting his monkey friend high into the canopy to reach the juiciest, most delicious mangoes that were too high for anyone else. It didn't take long for the entire jungle community to notice the change in Eli. They saw his joy, his selflessness, and the way he made everyone's life a little bit easier, a little bit brighter. Soon, a new name for him began to ripple through the trees, a name spoken with affection and admiration. They no longer just called him Eli the elephant. They called him Eli, the elephant who evidences with kindness. And though his 4 big feet remained firmly planted on the jungle floor, Eli's heart was in the heavens. It soared higher and higher with every act of kindness, floating on the joy he brought to others, higher than any bird, higher than the tallest trees, and higher than the fluffiest clouds. He had learned the most important lesson of all: you don't need wings to fly. When you dedicate yourself to lifting others, you lift yourself higher than you ever could have imagined. Thank you so much for joining us for this story. If you enjoyed Eli's journey, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more tales that lift the heart. We'll see you next time.